Okay, so this little video is about lesson 3.11 on surface area of prisms and cylinders. When you are done watching this recording, you should go do the problem set. It might be extra credit, it might be for credit, but either way, it is going to benefit you to do them. So please make sure to do the problem set, problems 1 through 19 odd and 23 to 28 all on pages 452 to 453 of the reference guide after you watch this video. Okay, so the surface area formula is for things that are not rectangular prisms like in 5.10. It's still that idea that it is 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter of the base times the height. It just means that you might have a little extra work finding the area of that base or finding the perimeter of that base. It also means that they have to give you quite a bit of information if this is not a rectangular prism. For a cylinder, it's still the same idea. It's 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter times the height. But since the base is a circle, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So you have 2 times pi r squared. So, compare those. Basically, the area of the base is 2 pi r squared, so that's why that's here. And with the perimeter times the height, the perimeter of a circle we usually call circumference. And you know circumference was 2 pi r or pi d, right? So we're just plugging in that 2 pi r times h. The reason why I did 2 pi r instead of pi d here is because since you're doing the area here in radius, you might as well do the circumference and radius as well. But just remember you're doing circumference times the height because it's perimeter times the height. But you will get to see how I use this. Okay, so here's a prism. This one is a triangular prism. And what I'm going to do first is say I need to know the area of the base. Okay, to find the area of the base, I'm going to need to do area of a triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. So if I look at that, area equals 1/2, what's the base of the triangle? It's 4, times the height of the triangle here is 2. So that's 1/2 times 4 is 2, times 2 is 4. So now I can say the area of the base is 4 meters squared. And then I also know that I'm going to need the perimeter of the base. And if I do the perimeter of the base, that just means adding up all the sides. Okay, so the perimeter of the base is a plus b plus c. It's just adding up all 3. So if I look at this one, the perimeter is going to be 3 plus 3 plus 4, which is 6 plus 4, which is 10. So it's going to be 10 meters. So now I'm going to go ahead and go for my surface area now that I have what I need. Again, I always start by writing my formulas. The surface area is going to be 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter times the height. So I know that the area of my base, I'm looking back up here and saying, look, the area of the base was 4 plus the perimeter was 10. The height of the whole thing, so I'm not looking at this 2 meters because that was just the height of the base. The height of the prism is 5 meters. Now, order of operation says I have to do the multiplication first. So 4 times 2 is 8. 10 times 5 is 50. So this is 58, and I need my units. Again, I'm doing area. So since I'm doing area, I know that's meters squared. Okay. Remember that you can watch this again if I went too quickly for you. Okay. Alright, so this one is a surface area of a cylinder. But remember, it's still the same idea. And this time I think I'm going to start with saying this. It's the 2 times the base plus the perimeter times the height. And I'm going to say, okay, remember I have that formula over here, right? So I'm going to actually just go ahead and grab that formula and put it right here. Save myself some time. You guys can do that kind of thing, you know. If you keep your notes really organized, especially since I'm putting out, such simple stuff here. If you just write that formula down, just be able to pull from it out of your notes and use it over and over again. It's just a matter of plugging stuff in, you know. So surface area equals 2 times, I'm going to go ahead and use that 3.14 for pi, times the radius. Looking at this picture here, I can see that 5.2 is the radius, and that's going to be squared, plus 2 times pi, 3.14, I'm going to use that again, times the radius, which is 5.2, times the height, which is 12. Okay, so I have quite a bit to calculate there. So that's okay. I'm gonna start breaking it down. Again, order of operations, so parentheses, there's nothing in parentheses really. I mean, those are just multiplications there. But I do need to do exponents first, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So 5.2 squared, and yes, I'm using a calculator, that is okay. 27.04. And then plus, okay, now this other term here, I can just go ahead and multiply all of that together. So I'm going to do 2 times 3.14 times 5.2 times 12. I'm going to go ahead and do all of that in my calculator right now, just to kind of speed things up. And since I am using a calculator, I might as well take as much advantage of that as possible. 872, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the next group of things there. So the 2 times 3.14 times 27.04, multiplying all three of those things together, I get 169.8112 plus, I'm going to keep that 391.872, and I'm going to add these two together, and oops, give me just 1 second there so I can actually add them. 391.872. Okay, there we go. It's 561.6832. And then, you know, they probably only want 2 decimal places, so since that's an 8.3, I do not round up. I need my units. They were feet, and we're doing area, surface area, but it's area, so it's just squared. Okay, so again, I just want to really emphasize to you guys that what we're doing here is just using those formulas, plugging in the numbers, using order of operations to correctly simplify it, and then at the end, making sure that we put the appropriate units on. Okay, so once again, you can always watch this again if I went a little too quickly for you. Do make sure to do that problem set. It's problems 1 through 19 odd and 23 to 28 all on pages 452 and 453 of the reference guide. I guarantee you, if you do all of those, check your answers, really put the time and the effort into them, you will do so much better on the quiz. So I strongly recommend it. Okay? Thanks.